No. No. Iron Fist! Dutchman Vs The Defenders.
It's shit credits. Hi, I'm a Dutch man on the internet, and basically I've been growing out a lot of facial hair recently, so you have less face to look at. So let's actually talk about The Defenders. If you haven't seen my video about the Iron Fist, here's a brief synopsis of Marvel Netflix series. Daredevil Season 1, good. Daredevil Season 2, okay, but I like the Punisher bits better than I liked the hand bits. Luke Cage, good, but I preferred it before the villain switch. Jessica Jones really suffered because of the format. It seemed like it ran too long. That's the problem with a lot of these Marvel Netflix series, I find. Luckily, The Defenders came along with just 8 episodes. Oh, right. And I really didn't like Iron Fist. The Defenders for me is something like, can you imagine watching something and you're happy you've seen it, but it's not the most world-changing thing ever? The way that I mean that is that The Defenders seems to have like an Avengers-like quality about it, like the first Avengers. But as opposed to the first Avengers, we've already seen things coming together like this. So while The Defenders gives us a lot of lovely, fun little character moments of characters meeting each other for the first time, Luke Cage and Iron Fist meeting each other for the first time standing out to me, as well as when Matt Murdock shows up as the lawyer for Jessica Jones. The Defenders is Marvel Netflix's Phase 1 climactic piece, and unfortunately for The Defenders, the main story is basically the Iron Fist story. There are bits and pieces there for Daredevil because, of course, Electro Nachos is involved, but it feels like this is Iron Fist's tale. This is him, and he has to team up with 3 other guys. Oh, 1 lady. So you get these 4 mainstay heroes together for the first time on the small screen, and they pit them against generic ninjas. There is a mystery, like a mystery box, but it's not a big one. It's not something that spans episodes of trying to figure out what it is, because, well, the heroes have very little agency in this. They basically just rock up to the bad guys' hideout and do their thing. And that's all this really is in the end. It's a series of fights and set pieces, and they're not all in hallways, but mind you, the first big one with all 4 of them is in a hallway of an office building. And when you have 2 characters who can move cars and, you know, punch through walls, pitting them against ninjas with fancy tricks, it feels really underwhelming and underusing both Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Like I said, thematically the story is basically Iron Fists, and I've made it no secret, I really don't think the Iron Fist Marvel Netflix series worked. I think it's still rubbish months later after it came out, and there's people saying like it's not that bad. To each their own opinion, but I think the main actor Finn Jones absolutely could not convey somebody who was angry for whatever reasons the show gave him to be angry. Luckily, the first 4 episodes of The Defenders seems to have made him turn over somewhat of a new leaf. He seems to live a little bit more Bruce Wayne-y, flaunting cash and just, you know, rocking up in suits and making it out like it's not a big deal. Unfortunately, by episode 5, the writers seem to have forgotten all of this, and he's back to being just like, oh, I'm Iron Fist, and I'm really mad, and oh, I'm all out of calm, and that's an actual line, and I'm angry. Oh my god. He basically regresses into this whiny little pasty bitch. And that's not an insult towards Finn Jones, it's an insult towards Iron Fist. He just becomes this pinnacle of hatred again. and I couldn't stand him. It doesn't help that towards the end of the series, Iron Fist gets separated from the other three heroes, and he basically gets to make the most stupid decisions in the entire show, all on his own. And he gets called the most stupid Iron Fist to his face by one of the hand. And he doesn't do a lot to, do away with that reputation. Iron Fist is awful. Awful, just awful. Of course, for catharsis, this means that he gets the crap beaten out of him by nearly every other player in this series, which is horrible because, come on, in the end, you want all your characters to be likable. Even the villains need to have qualities about them that you go like, oh yeah, well, I still respect him or her, despite the fact that him or her plans is starting to, level all of New York. Thematically, like I said, Daredevil is attached to the story as well because of Electronacios, and that's all he really is, and that's all she really is. And it's one of those classic, I know you're in there somewhere, fight scenarios, and okay, but when you get 3 episodes revolving around that and it being sad for some shots, it's like, how far can we stretch this? Oddly enough, the entire thing works best for Jessica Jones. Like, aside from the story, personally speaking, Jessica Jones feels the best fit in this universe. She doesn't want any of this. She basically gets forced into it. She nearly gets killed by ninjas, and if she doesn't do something about it, more ninjas will come out and try and kill her. And normally she does this kind of thing for a paycheck, or in the case of, the Purple Man, Kilgrave, to get rid of people that try to ruin her life. But this is just in the span of like a day or two, and she gets no choice in the matter, and she is not happy about it, and it works for her. Luke Cage, I really like Luke Cage. I think he's a big, piece of ham in the comics. He's like glorious, loves to fight, and says sweet Christmas and things like that. The retool in this series for him was that he was made out to be the strong silent type, and it's not quite what he is in the comics, like I just said, but it works for him, and in this series it works for him. And there is a slight issue here where in the comics he's BFFs with Iron Fist, and here we go again. I'm talking about Iron Fist more than I'm talking about the rest of the Defenders. He and Iron Fist are supposed to be best friends. They're not quite Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, but close on that level. They're supposed to be like buddy-buddy, like not even marriage could break them apart, like Chandler and Joey and Friends before Chandler got married to Monica. What we have here is one angry person and one very calm person, and they don't really seem to get along. In fact, the first fight between 2 of the main characters is between the 2 of them. And it's a good fight if you like one side being the shit beaten out of it because you don't like him. But aside from that, they have very little actual interaction until episode 5, where the 2 of them are, in a room together without any chance of having to leave it anytime soon. So they get to chat, and it goes from slagging each other off to somewhat of a connection. And it gives us hints like they could get along, but at no point in time has it anything of the feel of the comics when they're together. They're not, 2 best buds, they're just 2 guys who met each other. And I know they just met each other for the first time, but you want that spark, you want that thing. If you see, it's just a shame. That's what it is. It's a shame. The villains of the story, like I said, the Hand, they are still quite bland, and they're still the same level of bland as they were in the Iron Fist. In the Daredevil Season 1 and Season 2, at the very least, they were enigmatic, but here, they're still busy with the deep pit in the floor plan, and randomly recruiting people to do the evil deep pit in the floor plan. they get Sigourney Weaver, who gets a somewhat tragic backstory about being a cancer survivor, I think. I must admit I wasn't really paying attention at that point. She was sick and now she's trying to survive through the evil of the Hand. Somehow she managed to bombard herself to the leader of the Hand. I thought they were an evil ninja clan, but apparently Iron Fist rubbed off too much on them, so now they're just an evil business. And Gao is in this quite a lot, and I'm still so sad what they did with her. She started off like a mystery and no idea what she could be, and she's been degraded and degraded and degraded. She's just a random captain, and it's pretty cool to see a little old lady beat the shit out of people, because she gets to do that quite a lot in the show, but okay. But the choreography in this is quite good. There's quite a lot of few fight scenes that, you know, they pop, they have good pacing, and there's never really one that sticks with you, unlike the other Marvel series, especially Daredevil. The very last episode where they are deep down in the chasms beneath New York. Yeah, New York has chasms now, by the way. And they have this one shot which pans around the room, and it's not breathtakingly great, but it is pretty solid, and it is the one shot. You don't, at least I can't see the seams. I can't see at any point they could have, you know, cut away. And the weirdest thing though is that that scene had a hip-hop R&B track, and I like quite a bit of hip-hop and R&B. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan because look at how white I am. It's not something I actively look up, but it has good music, and for Luke Cage, the series, that worked perfectly, and it suited the series. But here, it comes out of the left field, out of the blue. Suddenly it starts going like, well, I'm not gonna quote any lyrics, I don't know any lyrics. Just imagine the most straight out of Compton thing you can think of, and that's the background music for one of the final fights in the series. And it doesn't fit the rest of the theme of this series, because everything else seems to be like a string quartet, and there's a lot of, you know, retrospect of classical music, especially seeing as Sigourney Weaver's character really seems to dig classic composers such as Beethoven. Yeah, that guy. If it seems I'm slagging this series off too much, I'm sorry. It's okay, it's not the greatest thing ever. It's a 6, a 7. It's something I could watch, and at least it's not 13 hours long, and I might even watch it again sometimes in the future. What I hope that this series has caused is that maybe a few points in the future some of the actors will actually meet each other in their own other series, as opposed to just this climactic thing. If there's going to be a Defenders Season 2, there's probably going to be a Defenders Season 2. I hope they come up with something better than generic ninjas, because they were not interesting for me at all. And the evil plan, it wasn't even that great. It wasn't even that epic. Well, you disappoint me, Defenders, but I'm still quite glad I watched you. So anyway, if you think I'm wrong, well, I have several social medias. Yeah, I've got a Facebook page, go send me death threats that way. I've got a Twitter, you can call me a dumbass on that. There's a comment section down below. There's a thumbs down system right next to it. You can subscribe for the next time I'll make another stupid video, so you can continue the verbal abuse. I'm a Dutchman on the internet, and this is my clog slipper.